Doodle-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo, doodle-doo, doo-doo-doo, doodle-doo, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. A tiny bit of sunshine and gardening starts happening. It's not spring yet. We had a gorgeous day of spring-like weather yesterday, and it's been raining all morning today, and it's just stopped and the sun's come out, and out I am into the garden. I got a couple of things, a couple of little things I bought, including these two here. Oh God, I must watch those buds. These are blueberries. I had to think of the American term. I know them as I know the short version of these, the Bilberry. That's the English name for them. Up north they call them the Blaeberry, and but these are high bush, and they grow in acid conditions. So the beautiful blueberries you get in the supermarket come from these, and not from our native bilberry, which is a little bit smaller. It's low to the ground, but you can find them in the woods and eat them for free. But I have bought these before, and they are terrific producers. You grow them in pots unless you live on fenland and you've got acid soil. Produced really well for me when I did have them. I had 4, and they handfuls of blueberries every time I came into the garden. It was really, but then I got all puritanical and started thinking I should be growing carrots and potatoes, and then they went. So they're coming back. They're pretty things that you can have on your patio. Good colour in the autumn, and flowers. They're creamy coloured. They're not particularly interesting, but they are there in the spring, and then in the summer you get your blueberries. And now Blaeberry means bluish grey. It's Middle English, bluish grey berry. And Bilberry is my native. As a southerner, I know them as bilberries, but that is in fact Norse. Comes from a Norse derivation. So England was dominated by the Vikings for 100 years or so, and so their words have come into our language. But I expect there was an English version of Blaeberry or something like that. But the one we know today is based around Norse, and I think it's coloured berry. Jackson Crawford, if you're lurking, please correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, so it's not a bad crop. Obviously, it's not, weight-wise, it's not going to beat potatoes or renner beans. But it's vitamin C, it's sugar, it's pleasure in the summer, and it's these stems in winter are quite attractive, I think. So yeah, I'm going to put them into pots now. If you're going to do this yourself, you'll need. Well, no, the internet says you don't need ericaceous compost, but I've got some anyway, because I've got other plants that are ericaceous. But I'm not using it straight out of the bag. I'm going to add a bit of half and half garden soil, and that'll sort of neutralise some of the acidity, because it doesn't want to be too acid. So yeah, let's get it in a nicer pot. Give it a bit of leg room to spread out. Did I say that blueberries like it sort of neutral? I was wrong. I'm thinking of citrus, which I shall be doing in a minute. Some limes. So it's straight out of the bag. They're acacias for the blueberries. Oh, I don't need that much. So what I've done is chosen. This pot is about double the size of the original pot. You don't want it to be, the pot to be too big. It just doesn't, just pot it up at a later stage. But it's perfect. And then I'll put compost around the side. What it gives is give it a bit of space to, and a cosy environment for it, and a bit of space to grow. I have noticed with plants that you want to pot up as they grow bigger rather than jump straight to a large pot. It just doesn't perform very well. And there we go. That's the. It is. I am starting pretty early. It's not February's not over yet, but it is. We need to get moving. So these will stay outside, but up against the wall, away from the wind. But it is. I'll be doing limes in a minute, and so I'd expect these leaves to come out start coming out in late March, April maybe. But I should also be doing the same with limes, and that's a completely different kettle of fish. These are hardy. These are northern. Well, the bilberry is a northern European plant, but these are American. So they, as you can see, they're deciduous. They know about being in the cold, but citrus don't. They don't really. They are hardy, but they won't thrive. They won't give you much fruit if you don't protect them in winter. So those were those two plants were £19 each. Now, obviously, that's a lot of money, but it will they're going to last me for years. Probably I may get bored of them again, but you can get them in. I've seen them in like packs of 6. Sort of this big. For like 15 quid for a pack of 6. I've seen that sort of thing before. So if you there are more economical ways of doing it, or you can. I'm sure you could probably take a cutting from somebody else's if you find somebody who's got it. But it is. So it's not the most economical thing to do, but it's me being enthusiastic towards the beginning of spring, and I will buy a few plants to brighten the place up, and kickstart the season, which is starting now. Now these two are Tahiti limes, and I've got 2 because I like limes, and I want them to pollinate each other. I don't think they need pollination, but I find having 2 having pollination, having another plant nearby does help set fruit. The same with the bilberries, the blueberries. So this is a variety called Tahiti lime. I've grown this before, and it was really successful. Great big crops of limes. Your normal lime size from the supermarket. Very tasty. Pretty hardy. I kept it going for sort of 3 or 4 years. Neglected it, and then we had a hard winter, and I hadn't looked after it, and I couldn't be bothered. And anyway, I was in my potato and carrot phase. But you can't have too many limes if you're in the kitchen, I find. And the leaves have a delicious scent. It is absolutely beautiful. You'll have that. Carry that smell around with you. It's really, really nice lime leaves. This has got plenty of flowers on them already, which is good. Means we probably have a crop this year. And does this one have? I think this one has one lime on it already. Oh, it's got 2 limes on it. Can you see that? There's 2 beautiful limes, and these are the flowers. At night time, when it gets a bit warmer, that will fill your greenhouse full of beautiful scent of those flowers. And now you don't have to have a greenhouse, but you do need to protect them. So a bit of fleece next to a wall, bit of fleece, it should be okay. It will never be as green as this ever again, because this has been grown obviously in a polytunnel in Morocco or Spain or somewhere, and transported straight over here. And it won't be this dark green. I can't keep them this dark green, but I'm pretty damn sure if I look after these, it'll be a decent green with a decent crop on it. Now it's ericaceous, but not too ericaceous. So I'm going to use made a mix of half and half. I forgot to put some grit. I need to put some grit in it. So 20% grit, and to give it some drainage. And Bob's your uncle, so I'll keep it in the greenhouse because I want to look after it, and then as soon as summer hits, it comes out onto the patio. Be careful not to knock the flowers off. So like I say, this is half ericaceous compost, half garden soil. Trying to equalise it, because most compost is alkaline, and so you've got to balance it. So you've got to go the opposite way and then neutralise it a little bit. So